Rome, July 64 AD. A fire breaks out near the Circus Maximus on a hot summer night. Within hours, it has spread through the city's densely packed wooden districts. It burns for 6 days, then reignites and burns for 3 more. When it is finally over, 10 of Rome's 14 districts have been damaged or destroyed. Hundreds of thousands are homeless, and the emperor is being blamed for starting it. Nero Claudius Caesar was 26 years old when Rome burned. He had been emperor for 10 years, ascending to power at 16 after the suspicious death of the Emperor Claudius. Widely believed to have been poisoned by Nero's mother Agrippina the Younger, one of the most ruthlessly ambitious women in Roman history. The ancient sources paint Nero as a monster, a man who murdered his own mother, who kicked his pregnant wife Poppaea to death, who executed his former tutor Seneca, who persecuted Christians and threw them to lions in the arena. But the ancient sources also had reasons to lie. Nero was demonized after his death by the very senators and historians who had survived him. It was in their interest to paint him as mad, as depraved, as uniquely evil. This was a standard Roman practice. Destroying the reputation of a dead emperor was called damnatio memoriae, the condemnation of memory. Modern historians paint a more complicated picture. Nero was genuinely talented as an artist and musician, something the Roman elite considered embarrassing and undignified, rather than monstrous. He performed publicly on the lyre and as an actor, which was considered deeply shameful for an emperor. The aristocracy hated him partly for this. His early reign, guided by the philosopher Seneca and the general Burrus, was considered by many Romans at the time to be a golden age of moderate and just governance. It was only in his later years, as his grip on reality apparently loosened and his paranoia consumed him, that the killings began. The murder of Agrippina, the executions of rivals, the persecution of Rome's small Christian community, whom he blamed for the Great Fire as a convenient scapegoat. Did Nero start the Great Fire? The historian Tacitus, no friend of Nero, wrote that rumors blamed the emperor, but that no proof was ever established. Suetonius wrote that Nero sang of the destruction of Troy while watching the city burn. The story of him fiddling while Rome burned is a myth. The violin did not exist in ancient Rome, and Nero was reportedly at his villa in Antium, 50 kilometers away, when the fire started. What is historically certain is that Nero used the fire's destruction to build the Domus Aurea, his golden house. An extraordinarily vast private palace that covered over 100 hectares of prime Roman real estate, formerly occupied by people's homes. Whether he started the fire or not, he certainly benefited from it. Nero was eventually abandoned by the Senate, the army, and his own Praetorian Guard, declared a public enemy of Rome. He fled the city and, unable to bring himself to take his own life, asked a freed slave to help him die. His last recorded words were reportedly, "What an artist dies in me." He was 30 years old. Rome has produced many emperors, but 2,000 years later, one name above all others still means absolute power and absolute corruption. Not Caesar, not Augustus, Nero. Thank you for watching Italian Shadows. If ancient Rome fascinates you, please subscribe, leave a like, and ring the bell. New dark stories every week. We'll see you in the shadows.